Hello, this is Dot One coming to you once again. Today, since I'm on a roll with speaking my mind and speaking my truth, I figured that I should cover a topic that is quite sacred to me, um, and that's modesty. Why I chose modesty, covering up my sacred goods. According to the dictionary definition that you'll get when you simply Google the word modesty definition, um, the definition that I will be referring to today is covering up. Um, what did they say? Um, Presenting yourself in a decent manner and covering up. That's basically what it all boils down to. That's my definition. Um, Revealing very little in your dress. And today I'm talking about modesty, in your dress, more so than anything else. We can talk about modesty in different forms at another time, but today I'm focusing on modesty in dressing. Um, and I subtitled it Covering Up My Sacred Goods because that is exactly my intention when I'm dressing modestly. Um, it is to uh, get the focus away from my the parts of my body that may be attractive or alluring to some degree to the opposite sex, and to these days to the same sex. um, and just not to distract people with um, with by sexually enticing them. Okay, so basically that's what I'm referring to when I speak on modesty in dress. Um, I kind of want to go down memory lane here and tell you guys and gals what dressing provocatively has gotten me. Um, Unsolicited hollers from dudes on the street. Um, I used to catch the bus when I lived back home um, in Midwest uh, United States, in the Midwest region of the United States. So back home, I used to catch the bus, and at this point in time, I'm talking about high school and college. So I would catch the bus, I would get off the bus, and then there would just be these guys, just group of guys, and they would just be catcalling. It honestly wasn't the same guys all the time. It'd be different guys. Oh, hey, what's up, ma? One time I was walking in a shopping district back home, and some guy came to me and said, "Big booty in the club," and stuff like that. And I find these interactions to be very time consuming, annoying, and uncomfortable. And it's really crazy because um, for some reason these guys, no matter how they look, no matter how they approach you, it's like they feel entitled to have your attention and respect, and for you to give a shit about whatever is coming out of their mouth. Please excuse my language, but I'm just being honest. They expect you to care about what they're saying, and they're approaching you in such a disrespectful manner. And it's like, why are you expecting so much from me? I don't know you. Um, you've never seen me in my life. I've never seen you ever in your life. Like, we have nothing in common. Like, why do you feel so connected? Anyway, so that's what I got. And these hollers, quote unquote, was followed by stupid phrases like, can we be friends? And stuff. After I tell the guy that I'm either in a relationship, which technically isn't off the market, because if you're married, if you're not married, you're single, but that's another subject for another day. Or sometimes I would tell a guy I was married, and then I would still get the, can we be friends? You know, answer. And I found that that's very disrespectful to not only me, my significant other, and then it just makes them look like a disrespectful a-hole. So anyway, next thing, and I'm just listing these, even though I kind of went in on that one because it was just too much. The naked look was once unique, now it's standard. Why dress like everyone else? And I'm going to cover that. In America, women are surrounded, by men of various nationalities, and not every nation of man, or you can say race or whatever you want to use, respect women. Hell, even in America, American men barely have respect for women. So you can only imagine men from abroad having respect for the women that live here. Okay, so let's go in. So unsolicited hollers from dudes on the street. You know, the sayings, "What's up, mom? How you doing?" You know, all those phrases and stuff. Like I said, big booty in the club, and then they're expecting a favorable response by making these type of outlandish remarks and questions, and we all know the dude who's licking his lips, looking at you like you a Thanksgiving ham, or Thanksgiving turkey, and Christmas ham, with his hands rubbed together like, hey, what's up? How you doing? Looking like he's already picturing you naked, like he's a wolf, um, being a predator to some sheep, and you feel like you're being preyed upon, even though some people may say, oh, that's dramatic, oh, they're just showing interest. You just don't understand. When you have a certain level of beauty, men are going to be after you. They really are. They're really going to be after you. Give me a moment here. I'm going to pause this really quick. Sorry, guys. I had to kind of entertain a customer because I'm actually working right now, but I work for myself, so it's not like I'm on the company's time or anything. But just getting back to it, yeah, and these guys just expect you to just entertain them and have full-fledged conversations. When they start off the conversation in such a disrespectful, manner, it's just like, really, bruh? Like, for real, bruh? Okay. So anyway, I think I went in enough on that subject and the annoyance I have with it. Did you know I even tried telling a guy that I was born a man once, and that didn't stop anything either. So yeah, so we can talk about that one another day. All right. The standard look now, especially for people in my culture, is the naked look. So to the far left, you see a woman. I mean, it's a nice dress, but it's form-fitting, and not only that, their skin showing. I mean, and looks like this are, like, if I was single and I was in my 20s, or if you're single in your 30s or whatever, you got the body for it. I mean, I'm not telling anybody else what to do with their body, because when I was in my 20s and I was single, hey, if I wanted to dress like this, I would. Well, not probably. I would. I would probably have something like the far left, but I would have the skin, more skin covered up, but I would still be showing shape. You know what I mean? But now that I'm married, I kind of find that I want to cover my goods. But I mean, these women are advertising, and I hate to say this, but this look is becoming more and more common. It's like I said, the standard look. If you were to go anywhere, if you were to dress up, go to a club or something, everybody everybody would be naked. Nobody is dressing up like in a fashionable way. I mean, this is considered fashion too, but nobody's dressing up in a fashionable way, and they happen to be covered. So let's go to the next slide. And what I like to do is I like to dress presentable. Now that I am married, I like to dress presentable with fashion. And I have to be honest with you, even before I got married, even before I met my husband, I was literally phasing myself into a form of modesty. Um, my when I was going through the dudes hollering at me phase in high school and college, really it started in middle school. I got this advice from my cousin. I was having such a hard time, with the guys just trying to talk to me or whatever, and I was just like, listen. And I finally told one of my male cousins, I was like, listen, this is so annoying. Like, how do I deal with this? Kind of seeking advice from him. And he's like, well, if you don't go around with jogging pants with uh words on your butt that are form fitting, then you probably wouldn't have so much attention. And then that's when I started paying more attention to what I was wearing. I had this phase where everything in my closet was pretty much black. Not that I was goth or anything. I just really like black because of slimming, and some of the pieces I had were showing shape, but the way I would mix things, I would try to, cover my butt a little bit. Like if I wore like a tight top, I would kind of wear like a looser bottom. And if I wore a looser top, I would kind of wear a tighter, bottom, not too tight, but just, form fitting, just to balance out things. So I learned how to kind of dress for my shape at that time. Um, I will say that I've always had a hard time with wearing dresses and skirts that weren't quote unquote appropriate length. So I have really had trouble wearing mini skirts. I tried to wear mini skirts. I tried to wear shorts. It was just like I just couldn't get with it. I've had a few pairs of shorts. I don't even think I went in public with them. I had maybe 5 mini skirts. I did wear those in public. Those were like, excuse me, club wear, and even then I can probably count on 2 hands the times I wore all 5 of them. You know what I mean? So I really had a hard time. And let me tell you what appropriate length is. Basically, it's when you stand up, you put your hands on the sides of your body to, touch your thighs, and your longest finger length is where your skirt or dress should stop. And that's basically the rubric that I use for determining whether or not a skirt was too short. So I learned early that if I had a skirt shorter than that, I felt uncomfortable. If I had shorts shorter than that, I felt a little uncomfortable. And it was just, I was always mindful of the way I carried myself, presented myself, and the way people um, would view me and would judge me. Because I know people are like, oh, don't judge, but you always have presumptions about people based on the way they dress, the way they look, back um, racial makeup, whatever, their presumed background. We all do this to some extent, and I just wanted to to kind of look wholesome. So this is the type of fashion I like. um I'm not saying that this is the only style. Like, for instance, with the dress on the left, I'll probably have like a silk shawl or something to go over it, just to give the arms some covering. And the one to the right, a good cardigan or something would go nice with that, or like the same, or like a similar scarf or something, with complementary colors. That would look really nice, to give the arms some covering. Honestly, the arms with that one isn't that bad, but I would cover up the shoulders with the one on the left. So yeah, just giving you guys ideas. Oh, and men from all over the globe are in America, right? So we have people literally all over. And like I mentioned before, men in America, they, I mean, and we are noted to be the most liberal country out there. At least one of the most liberal countries out there. And but even men in the United States even have issues with how they view women. You know what I'm saying? We're still objectified and things of that nature. So I feel like, since we have are exposed to so many cultures, it really protects us to cover our bodies, view ourselves as sacred, because if you were to watch mainstream media, all you would see is, like I said, the standard look, which is this naked look, and that's from women of all all nationalities in American television. I mean, everybody's pretty much naked. You know what I mean? And it's like men from all over are seeing this television, and then they're coming to America, or they're watching this television and they've been in America. You know what I mean? And this is the image they have of us. So it's like they expect us, I guess, to behave in a certain manner, and they expect the goods. Because I guess where they are, they're like, hey, a woman is this naked, she must be a prostitute. And I don't care where you are in the world, I'm sure that there's not a whole lot of respect for prostitutes anywhere. You know what I mean? And just to even take it further back, like in ancient times, and a lot of people would say this, oh, we ran around naked in ancient times. Yes, some tribes did. They walked around naked, or walked around with nearly no clothing on. But you also have to think about the climate that they were in, and you also have to think about the fact that this wasn't everybody that was walking around naked. Clothes were invented, and people did actually wear them. And the reason why is because certain countries were invaded. And when these countries were invaded, the invaders saw women that were naked, and then they're not gonna have respect for these women. They're not going to care about, their bodies and things of that nature and treat them with respect. They just raped them. And we know about stories and different, where a certain country is invaded and then they rape the women and stuff like that. So, excuse me, our clothing is our covering. So there are even certain dress patterns that are made to um, make raping a woman much more difficult. So, with this being the case, let me go ahead and plug this up here and get rid of this message. With this being the case, it's just beneficial for women to take their safety into their own hands, and one of those ways is, covering up. You know that men from all over are here, and we read about it all the time in world news, how what's happening to women in different parts of the world, and it's just so sad. Very sad, actually. My heart goes out to them. But I mean, and if a lot of people, if they're bringing that same mentality here, then it's really not good. And for instance, a lot of times the mentality is already here amongst people who call themselves American. You know what I mean? So it's like, just protect yourself, ladies. I know I am. That's why I choose to do this. All right, and for the last slide, even though I'm not religious, I really like this scripture in Hebrews. Marriage is honorable among all, and the bed undefiled. But fornicators and adulterers, God will judge. Not necessarily that latter part. That's not the focus. My focus is the part one. Marriage is honorable among all, and the bed undefiled. So when you concentrate on that, whether you're religious or not, and I am not religious, like I denounce Christianity. I just do. But as far as that scripture, though, those words, I view my marriage. I'm married. I'm married back last year. We're coming up on our first anniversary in a couple of months. But I take that union as very sacred. Um, I absolutely love the connection that we have, the bond that we have, and I want to honor him. And he didn't ask me to do this. Believe me, he didn't ask me to cover up. He's like, hey, whatever you want to do, you want to do. He's a Sagittarius, so he's like, I have all the freedom in the world, literally. But I just feel compelled to cover, because I just feel like, out of respect for him, out of respect for myself, out of respect for our union, I want to present myself into the world in a way that says, hey, I'm off the market. I don't want to entertain your cat calls. I don't want to be the object of your sexual attraction, your sexual lust. Because let's be honest, some men, when they see a beautiful woman, they don't know how to act. And, the disrespectful comments start, you know, the comments about your body, the comments about certain aspects and certain parts, like you're a chicken. They just pick you apart, like, ooh, them legs, ooh, them eyes, certain things like that. Them breastises. So it's like, I just I waited this long to get to get married. I feel like this it's a long time. It wasn't really a long time, but I waited to get married. And I want to honor it, and I want him to feel special. So instead of displaying my goods to everybody, I will be covering up. Um, if I missed anything when I rewatch this, because sometimes I like to not sometimes I like to listen to things and see if I missed something. But if I missed anything, I'll make a part 2 on this. But for now, I'm sure you guys get the gist of what I've said. And thank you for tuning in. I will be doing more videos soon. And you guys have an awesome day, week, year. Peace.